I'm Cape Jewel, and this is Comic Smack, the weekly comic show where we take close, more in-depth looks at the coolest, most happening events going on in the world of comics and superheroes. And on today's show, we are looking at a gigantic, huge, special, celebratory anniversary issue. It's Captain America Sam Wilson issue number 7. Moreover than that, it's also a tie-in, and it features backup stories from the likes of Joss Whedon and Greg Rucka. So let's not waste any more time, let's hop into this issue. Alrighty then, so as the comic opens, Sam Wilson, the current Captain America, makes his way to Pleasant Hill, where he finds the entire community in chaos. Conveniently, he's also met by Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier, yet another lifelong friend of Steve Rogers' Captain America. Sam is shocked to learn that Steve is actually here. Our heroes cut a swath through the sea of supervillains currently rampaging through the town. Eventually, they reach a SHIELD agent under fire by two villains called the Blood Brothers. After being saved from certain death, the lady opens up and spills the beans about everything that's been going on in Pleasant Hill right now. Maria Hill's plan to use the Kobik, a living embodiment of the Cosmic Cube, to rewrite supervillains' minds in an attempt to create the perfect prison. And the fact that now that the villains are essentially running the asylum, it's only a matter of time until they try and use the power of Pleasant Hill to do something horrible. The agent also tells our two heroes that Maria Hill did a lot more than just build a prison here in Pleasant Hill, that it's also stockpiling some very powerful weapons that could help them turn the tide of the battle against these supervillains if they can get to them. Standing in between Winter Soldier and Cap is of course a literal circus of supervillainy in which they must fight their way through. What I'm sure they both weren't expecting though was to be met by Kobik, the little girl running the whole operation, saying how everything has gone so totally wrong and all she wanted was for people to be happy. Now that's where this portion of the story ends, but because this is not only a tie-in but a super special extra long anniversary issue, we get yet another story from Nick Spencer. As we join it, poor old man Steve Rogers is getting his face caved in by the super assassin Crossbones. Well, we flash back to the events that took place at the end of Pleasant Hill Alpha. Again, for those of you who missed it, please check out this handy dandy playlist I've put together for you. We see that after taking over Pleasant Hill, a mortal super Nazi Baron Zemo gloated to Cap about his great plan for revenge. He says that simply killing their jailer Maria Hill and her enabler Captain America would be far too easy. Instead, what he plans to do is out them to the media, have their sins brought into the light and truly ruin them. He also, you guessed it, plans to use the power of Kobik for himself, no doubt to change the world the same way all the supervillains were changed. Cap, a near-death Maria Hill, and a kindly priest manage to slink away from the rest of the supervillains and find Dr. Eric Selvig. Dr. Selvig, who as we've seen throughout this story has become something of a father figure to Kobik, is terrified of what might happen to his creation if the supervillain should get a hold of her, and says that Cap needs to find her. The kindly priest says that Cap should go and save the day, and he will stay behind to take care of Maria Hill and Dr. Selvig. It's at that point the apartment they were hiding out in blows up, and we reveal that that kindly priest who's been helping out our hero all along, oh yeah, that's right, he was just the Red Skull. Steve finds Kobik at the bowling alley, and understandably she's having a bit of a little child temper tantrum right now, saying how everything went wrong, everything's out of place, and all she ever wanted to do was make everyone happy. Cap, inspiring good guy as always, comforts the girl and says that everything's going to be alright. It's at that point he comes under attack by Brock Rumlow, aka Crossbones. Try as he might to defend himself from Crossbones, poor Steve just doesn't stand a chance. He's old, he's frail, and he's going to die right here, right now. In fact, his entire life, all the battles he's won, all the loves he's had, all the friends he's made flash before his very eyes. Only instead of seeing a bright light at the end of a dark tunnel, Steve instead sees Kobik, who offers him a hand, saying that she can make him whole again, make him the man, the hero he was always meant to be. And the comic ends with Steve Rogers' Captain America once again returned to his youth. Captain America Sam Wilson was a dynamite issue, one that gave you a ton of comic bang for your buck. Also, seeing as Nick Spencer writes this book and is the architect of the Standoff event, this book is, easily the most must-read book out of any of the tie-ins. The Falcon story felt a little brief and maybe a little thin. I do like the idea that they play up this whole relationship between Winter Soldier and between Sam Wilson, how they're both kind of in the outs with SHIELD currently. The real A-bomb stuff, of course, comes in the second story, which is hard to believe that I almost didn't read because I just thought it was another backup story. Part of the whole anniversary issue is the real stuff. Steve Rogers gets to be young again just in time for his movie, go figure, but he also gets gets to show off and be really awesome in his own way. In many ways, this feels like a zero issue for that new Steve Rogers Captain America book that Nick Spencer will also be penning, and honestly, I'm really excited for it. Overall, I would give this one a most positive 8.5 out of 10. Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching my newest video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll feel like checking out some more videos I have on offer here at Cape Jewel.